Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on Nolland Industries. This time we're going to be starting to work on the rear subframe, hooking up the dual caliper rear setup. So you're going to start by pulling all this apart, get that sorted. Also got to weld in these bloody braces that I haven't done yet because I've got to go somewhere else to get it done, that's why. But yeah, going to make a start on these and hopefully get all this bolted in this one episode. It's going to be a big job. There's a lot of bits to it, so let's get cracking.
Tell me, is it whack up in the air? Rapping scattered off the gear. I can map him, get it, yeah. It's like a tracker, get distracted, send him back like in the mail. Not a fraction of them real. Catch him lacking, run the drill. Running through the shit like a motherfucking dage.
First up, I'm just going to start unbolting all the components off this because I've got to get to this knuckle, this rear knuckle here, and we've got to modify it and add the GKtech dual caliper bracket that I'll show you in 2 seconds. Alright, so this is the dual caliper rear hydraulic handbrake setup. These are the brackets here, so they bolt onto the rear knuckle, and yeah, they give you a second pickup point for your calipers to go on, and yeah, they look really nice. I've never done this before, so pretty much figuring it out as I go, but it looks pretty good. Comes with a whole heap of bolts and things you need, so yeah. And as always with GKtech, plenty of stickers. So first up, you need a huge ass bloody 36mm socket to go in the end here to get this drive shaft out. That big boy. It's a drive shaft that gets driven by your diff on this end and then drives your wheels on this end. And these quite often blow with drifting and like high power level cars, drag racing and things. You blow these all the time. I haven't blown one yet, so that's nice, but I'm sure at some stage I'll be replacing these. It would be good, there is a good upgrade, which is the GTR half shafts, but they're super expensive and pretty hard to find these days. So for now, I'm sticking with the stock ones. Sweet, so now the drive shaft's out the way, we can get access to this nut on the bottom here, which gets rid of this bottom lower control arm. There's just a split pin in there. I'll move that, take the nut out, and that'll get rid of that one. So you need to get this ball joint off, right? And a good trick that Dad taught me, you put your nut back on the top, gives you a flat surface, and you smack your hammer on that, and then you're not destroying your thread, because if you just smack the thread, you're not going to get the nut back on. Not easily anyway. So we'll knock that off now. Got a couple of bits of wood either side to support it, give it some space where it can go. Just like that, off it comes. Also a really good tip, whenever you take a nut off and it's kind of a special nut, put it back where it came from, so that way you can find it later. And it's exactly where it needs to be. So now we're going to be removing these 4 bolts, and I'm pretty sure I have to take that bolt off. This is no man's land for me, so I'm just going to take everything off and see what comes off and what doesn't. Got to get that line off as well. But yeah, start unbolting some more. Alright, so I took those 4 bolts out of there, and it looks like this whole piece is just going to come off. So this is your rear hub, and to change these on Nissans from 4-stud to 5-stud is really simple, because you can just buy this whole piece and you just bolt this straight on, and yeah, nice and simple. That's your hub. Now this is what's left. This is your rear handbrake shoes. I've never really played with these properly before. That wasn't too bad. I just undone this nut, and now got the whole bracket off. the whole knuckle. So that's pretty cool. That's one side done. Now to do the other side and take these up to the bench and have a look at how the aftermarket brackets sit on here and see what we have to do. Alrighty, I just watched the GKtech video on how to do this and it's pretty gnarly, but it seems pretty easy. Like just a bit of grinding action and then yeah, it sort of fits up really good. So you got this crazy looking bracket. It's got a groove in this side, so that goes face down onto the knuckle, and you just line up these bolts and this one here. So that's how you know you got it the right way around. This here is like super close, but I thought it was going to be a problem, but it's not. It's designed to just fit. So these are your stock brackets where you normally mount your caliper. We actually cut them off completely, and we use these 4 holes now. So that's going to be pretty scary because I've got to cut these off, and if I stuff it up for some reason, you can't put them back on easily. So yeah, that's going to be the next step, is just marking out where to cut these off, get rid of them, smooth them out, and then bolt this on, and you bolt the these guide brackets. So it comes with these guide brackets. You bolt these to your calipers, put the caliper on the mounts, and then you actually skim off the calipers to get them to fit so that it doesn't bump on anything or get obstructed by any parts, and then it's all sweet. Put it back together. But before I do put it back together, I'm going to paint these just black. I'm pretty sure just black, yeah. I'm just going to paint these black and give them a clean and then paint them black first, because yeah, they're just disgusting. It would be nice if everything was in this finish, like everything. That would be gangster as, but it's not. It's just stock stuff, so we'll make it work. But yeah, gonna speed through this and then show you what it looks like. So I've just marked it out and gonna chop right there and there. This one comes pretty close, so try and get as much of that away as possible. This one doesn't matter so much. Got the grinder out, safety first. Let's make some cuts. This is Australia for ya. So I just smashed out these spot welds with the chisel and hammer, and then this dropped on the ground. There's a bloody redback living right here. He just went underneath here. There he is. Look at that redback belly. Oh shit. Not belly. They're pretty dangerous though. Fuck, he escaped. Oh well, he'll be alright. But yeah, just hiding in there the whole time while I was smacking the shit out of that. Would have given me a bit of a headache. Show ya. Okay, so making some good progress here. I've got this all sus now, and I've painted everything black, which is nice. It would be good if I had a better background so you could actually see, but that is all painted black. The only problem is these brackets, the GKtech ones, they sent me 2 right sides, not a right and a left, so I'm gonna have to send an email off and get them to send out a left one for me. So once I have the left one, then I can do the other half. But before I bolt it all back together for this one, there's one more little bit of cutting I have to do. So they give you these brackets, and they're a guide bracket to give you the exact dimension, and you bolt the bracket on, and then you mark this with a white pen. And yeah, I just got to grind off this tiny little edge here, snip that off, and then we can put it on. I'll still build one today, and then when the other one comes in, I'll put it together off camera. But yeah, making some good progress. Rightio, major progress going on here. Everything is done. I've trimmed off these. So I haven't had that much practice on the grinder, so I'm just getting the hang of that, but it's pretty fun. You can do some cool stuff with it, and it makes it a lot easier than sanding shit. You would never sand that. You'd be crazy to try that. Anyway, I'm going to start assembling it here, and yeah, I'll just do a little time lapse of that, because I'm sure it's going to take longer than I expect. But you've basically got your hub here, 5-stud hub on the R32. Then this, oh, I forgot to mention before as well, this handbrake assembly here, it's normally got this dust cover around the outside. You need to chop that off. I punched it out with a chisel and a hammer, and then just grinded flush the little spot welds. So you need to get that off to get it out of the way. So that goes on first, and then your GKtech plate goes on, and then the knuckle. You bolt it all up, and then hopefully these brakes fit on. Let's have a go. Don't forget your handbrake cable. I almost forgot that, and it's a bit of a shit fight. You got to have this on first. Like that. Yeehaw. Okay, after much mucking around on and off a couple of times, it's on there, and these fit perfectly. Like the space between there is like the tiniest gap, like a hair, which is nice. And it's all together, but this bloody handbrake assembly was on the car already, and there was like it lost the shoes. The shoes were gone. And this part here was bent. I tried to get it back nice, as good as possible, and that's as close as I could get. And I don't know if you can see this piece here, but it's lifted that way a little bit. There's a gap on this side, and that is like twisted a tiny bit, and it's causing this to touch right on that. So I think I'm just gonna like just grind a little nick off there, and then hopefully it doesn't touch. But if it's going to be touching, it's going to sound like this when you're driving. Not ideal, that little ting noise. So hopefully I'll just grind that off and and forget about it. But holy shit, this is looking pretty freaking gangster. Just need to get the disc on there and then remount these on. But I haven't done it up tight anyway, because I've got to paint. I've got to get some more gold paint, or even just use black and paint these tabs that I've grinded off. So I'm going to do that next, and then reassemble it all properly with the disc, and then it should be done. It's been a mission, but it's going to be cool. It's going to be real cool once it's done. And I've never done any of this stuff before, so just learning, and yeah, learning heaps. It's pretty fun when it goes right. When it doesn't go right, it's a bit of a pain. See, I just pulled it all apart again, and you can see that there's all warped and not sitting flush. That piece in there should be sitting flush against this piece of metal here, like this one. See that down there, how it's all nice and flat and flush in there. And then this one, yeah, there's a gap. So I'm gonna try and get that flush. Shit. So shit. Well, that's alright. We'll get it sorted. Either get that flush or grind that. I'll figure it out. I think that might have actually done it. I just put it on the vise here, so it was sitting each side on this surface, and smacked that with a hammer, and it sort of looks like it's sitting in there pretty flush now. So I'm gonna put the disc on this time, and I'll paint these little nubs to seal them up. You don't want to leave that exposed, otherwise it's gonna go all rusty. So I'll get some paint on there. You can't see it, so I'm just gonna paint it black. Oh, I shouldn't tell you guys that. I'm gonna paint it gold, even though I've got no gold, but yeah. And then I'll put the disc on there this time and have it all nice and together. It's finally together. Holy shit. So there's a sneaky little bolt under here. They do say in the video to make sure you leave this loose, so you got play to lift it up and put this in. I did that, but then I tightened this down. I went to tighten this and I couldn't tighten it. So make sure you tighten this bolt first if you're doing this yourself. Also, another thing I did wrong, just by coincidence, I had the wrong bloody calipers. You need the bleed nipple to be at the top, which is this part here is the top. These two arms at the top, that's the bottom. you need the bleed nipples to be up here, otherwise you won't be able to bleed them. And I had the other bloody calipers up here, and then I noticed at the last second. I was like, shit, I got a flat battery. Almost ran out of battery, but check that out. She's all together. I'm honestly so happy, eh? Like, I've spent pretty much the whole afternoon and a bit of the night just getting this together. I did go water my plants for a while, but most of the time I was spending on this, getting it back together. Took it apart, put it together, pulled it apart about 20 times, so I'm pretty much an expert at how this goes together now, and the exact order. So if you need to know, make sure you let me know and I'll help you. But the bracket is really nice. Like, the finish on this bracket is sick. All the measurements were perfect. The only problem is, yeah, that's another right hand side, so I just need to get them to send me a left hand side, which they should get sorted pretty fast. They got snappy we call it dispatch time. They're really good with that. But this is a slow build anyway. It's not the end of the world. If I was like trying to get this car right together for an event, I'd probably be pissed off, but I don't know, you can't do much. Like, things happen, mistakes happen, and yeah, as long as they send me another one, I'm happy. So that is all the top part done. Now I'm going to put the nut on there and whack this drive shaft straight through, put the big nut on, and then yeah, that's that part done. Cables in, and yeah, done. Do the other side once that bracket comes, and then I'll take the subframe and get it welded. Hopefully I can learn a bit of welding at the same time. That's going to be the end of this one, guys. Thanks heaps for watching. If you like this style video, which is like sort of like a how-to, it's not really, because it doesn't tell you this bolt, this size, this torque, but I don't know. If you like this sort of video, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe.